When I first founded Harvest, I was already very interested in economics. In fact, I originally studied economics, and because I have a deep-rooted passion for the subject, I put a lot of effort into understanding economic cycles, economic theories, and even classical economics. So why did I choose to focus on consumer sectors instead of technology, the internet, or real estate? Why did I choose this path instead of other entrepreneurial investments? It's related to my economics background. Economics, a prominent discipline, excels at explaining the logic of world development and human economic and social activities. It's a remarkable field to study, and I am personally obsessed with it. To this day, I continue to learn and treat it as a lifelong pursuit. So at that time, I made up my mind. I also realized the Chinese economy has a fundamental characteristic. It is quantity, but lacks quality. If you understand this basic reality, you'll realize the Chinese economy will inevitably face adjustment sooner or later. I've always viewed things from major trends, rather than just reacting to the moment. In life's long journey, we strive to win when everything is finally settled. Staying at the table is the only way to achieve true, significant success. I think Warren Buffett is the same. This is what real value investing and true long-termism are about. It's not just something you say, but something you practice. The first principle is knowing but not doing, and the second is unity of knowledge and action. So what does knowing but not doing mean? For example, there are many industries that I simply don't get involved in. Today, we're talking about the overnight video industry. Before I started my business in 2017, I had never even considered overnight video, but I knew it wasn't in line with human nature. It goes against human nature and benefits no one. Ultimately, do not do unto others what you do not want done to yourself. These basic principles are known by any educated person, and such practices harm ordinary people. What do? They increase their burden, and are certainly not positive. They also violate fair and free market principles. So when we discuss education, healthcare, and real estate, especially education, we refer to the theater effect. Starting class selection and an arms race as early as age 3, deciding a person's entire life by the time they're 3 or 5 years old. That's how it was for me. I was raised in a factory and mining community. My mother was a teacher, and my father was an accountant. Our family never sent me to night school, nor did I attend any training classes. This allowed me, someone who loved reading from a young age, to maintain my interest in knowledge. I've always believed this is important. I must thank my parents, especially my mother, who was a proud people's teacher. They didn't push me into intense academic competition, so I believe extra training is useless. If I think about how I've come this far, aside from hard work and diligence, one thing has benefited me for life. I've always maintained a thirst for knowledge, and that has been invaluable. I've always kept a strong interest in knowledge. I don't think learning is a tiring thing. Moreover, learning isn't about seeking quick results or only studying what's immediately useful. I've read many so-called useless or leisure books, and to exaggerate, taken many classes. This helped me. So to this day, I believe we shouldn't do to others what we wouldn't want done to ourselves, and we should always stand on the side of common sense and conscience. In essence, investment can be a force for good, businesses can do good, and technology can do good. Investment must also be oriented toward doing good. Many companies and peers, solely focused on making money, treat the Times Beta as their own alpha. Their only goal is to win, to make money. In China, they might do this for 10 or 20 years. No one is preparing to do this for a lifetime. Many European funds operate this way. They enter China with their own year as passport, bringing foreign capital. In China, they seek opportunities and profits in our industrial economy. Do you truly believe they are patriotic? I've written many articles and expressed opinions that might seem unimportant, but if I didn't love this land, I wouldn't speak out. I am quite free today. Education, healthcare, and real estate indeed pressure the government. These industries need commercialization, but how do we balance commodification and commercialization? We must admit that, largely, what are they? They are industries providing social public goods and services, education and healthcare. Real estate, conversely, can be industrialized. Globally, real estate and urban commercial development are part of commercialization. Real estate commercialization isn't wrong. Our development approach is problematic. We focus on forecasts, high turnover, and a model of high debt certification. But these aren't company problems. These are mistakes in economic activities caused by policy choices and resource misallocation. Education and healthcare shouldn't be run this way, including the media. How should we proceed? These sectors themselves lack the ability for commercialization, commodification, and breakthroughs seen in other industries. So if you want to take a long-term view, don't look at the balance sheet. Don't look at PPSC, EV/EBITDA, or beta. Don't oversimplify. Net profit levels. If you only look at things simply, just because there are similar companies in the capital market, then unless you're just trying to make a quick profit through some scheme, your perspective will be short-sighted. But if you truly care about this land, if you genuinely want to both make money and see progress in the industry, your vision will be longer term. What really matters for national development and the well-being of the people? It's about boosting consumption in China, supporting the private sector, and empowering everyday people's lives. With this in mind, you'll approach problems more rationally. You also take a more long-term, calm perspective. Many industries will fall outside your investment scope. Our harvest has been very cautious and careful. We avoid many sectors entirely, strictly prohibiting involvement. But in our industry, consulting and alignment are essential. We need to take action. As business partners, what should we do for the company? We should be champion sparring partners, super sparring partners. We prioritize post-investment functions over investing itself. Investment isn't what matters. It's about buying the future. So what should investment institutions aim for? Treat investment as a career, but more importantly, create value together with the company. Only then are you qualified to share in that value. If you want others to respect you, you must be helpful to them and achieve things together. In the future, we could all become better versions of ourselves. This is something that holds both economic value and social significance. So, what I'm talking about is a process of investing in people, a process that requires sincerity and integrity. This is difficult. It goes against human nature. But the more something goes against human nature, the harder it is to do, the more valuable it is. Companies and institutions won't choose this path because it's too hard. There are fewer opportunities to make a move, and the cost of inaction is high. The company puts pressure on you because they need to give you a fair price, respect, and the value of a strategic investment. Their expectations for you are high, and if you can't deliver, they'll be disappointed. We set high standards for ourselves, for our employees, and for myself. This is something Harvest has always insisted on. The future needs Drucker's management science and meticulous, intensive industry economics. Only by truly understanding the industry and company operations can we succeed. Only professional organizations that understand modern scientific management, know how to allocate resources, are familiar with products, channels, markets, and supply chains, and also grasp consumer behavior in psychology, can earn true professional alpha and receive positive recognition. If you're thinking about arbitraging benefits capital market, profits from primary and secondary markets, domestic and overseas advantages, benefits issuance tools, and trading methods, you'll be eliminated by fragments left when these arbitrage-driven markets collapse. So, when we say that a speck of dust from this era falls on each person, it truly becomes a mountain. When I talk about the increasing collapse of the capital market, a single snowflake falling on each institution becomes its burial, its funeral. This is the signal. That's why, when we insisted on moving forward more than a decade ago, extremely difficult and painful, several times we almost didn't make it through, because this is the hardest path to take. It's also the path that receives the least recognition. You're the only one, because it's so lonely. This is solitary courage, human nature defied. It's like going to the gym. To build the best physique and condition, you have to sweat? You have to fight against lactic acid buildup? You have to endure muscle fatigue. You put in a lot of effort, and often see no results at first. There's a dark period you have to get through. This is what we just talked about as the tunnel effect. Once you see the light, the road ahead becomes smooth. Because so few people take this path, I often say this. This is an era where good people earn profits by doing business, and only by doing the right thing can you achieve true success. So just wholeheartedly devote yourself to helping others, and leave the rest to time. This is absolutely not just a slogan, nor is it some idealistic notion or motivational talk. If you really do things this way, and stick with it over time, if you're lucky enough to succeed, then you'll be truly unique. Because this path is hard to find, and most people can't walk it. This path is also quite lonely, and there's less competition, because most people follow the conventional route. It's lively, everyone is fighting for the same things, and then they just throw money at it, and take a gamble. If they guess wrong, they don't even know what it means to lose. This approach is simple, and fits human nature, because people naturally prefer ease over hard work.